Philly is really wonderful. It feels a bit like a small town in some ways. I can be walking, a mile or two from my house and just like run into someone I know, run into someone I went to school with, or it feels like there's such a positive culture. And I really love that.
When they say we're like a community, we kind of are, because you know everybody in Philly. Like, don't gossip here, like, because you just know everybody. That's what I mean, like, community is strong.
I'm feeling queer today.
Thank you all so much. Welcome back to I'm Feeling Queer Today, a podcast that amplifies the voices of LGBTQ plus young people like me. For listeners like you, whoever you are, brought to you by the Future Perfect Project. I'm your host, Eden Kim.
And I'm your other host, Josephine Levesque. If you're new here, welcome. This season, we're taking a queer road trip all around the country to answer a big question. What's it like to be queer where you live?
And today's destination is Philadelphia. Go Birds!
Go Birds!
So we took a visit to the Philadelphia High School for Creative and Performing Arts, or as most people call it, CAPA.
CAPA is different from most schools in Philly because you have to apply for an arts major. I was a theater major, and I graduated last year.
And I'm also a theater major, and I am actually class of 2025, so I'm leaving this year. Get lit. Very exciting news, but I'm really sad about that because I'm leaving the queer space.
There's mad gay stuff at CAPA.
There's so many gay people.
If you're like in 8th grade, and you want to go to like gay academy, like get on the CAPA train, learn a trade, learn an art.
But yeah, I've never really had gay teachers until I came to CAPA. Like, I was allowed to freely express my identity. I was allowed to be who I was. I had friends all around me who were gay and accepted it. I had trans friends all around me who accepted my identity. And teachers as well. They completely supported me. They called me by the pronouns I wanted to be called. As somebody who grew up in North Philly, I wasn't really near an area where being gay was welcomed and safe.
I had a really opposite experience growing up because I have 2 gay mothers that are married to each other. And then I was raised with 1 million gay people. And then I went to Quaker school where it's all about gay people. So it's been gay, gay, gay all my life.
So gay.
Yeah.
So starting things off, some queer students at CAPA got together for a roundtable discussion on queer life at school and in Philly. Take a listen.
Okay. Hello. My name is Brooklyn. I am 16, and I am a theater major. My pronouns are she, they.
My name is Sam. I'm an MDTV major, which is our media design, television, and video program. I'm 15, and my pronouns are she, they.
Hello, my name is Midge. I am 16 years old. He, him. I am a CAPA theater major.
Hello, my name is Ren. I'm 16 years old. I use they, he pronouns, and I'm a visual arts major.
I'm Lonnie. I'm 16 years old. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm a theater major.
I would say being queer and queerness is a huge part of my identity. I've always been a really gay kid. It's just such an ingrained part of my identity, like my family or my culture or my ethnicity. It's something that's just an element of who I am.
I'm a trans guy, but in terms of everything else, I don't really aspire to have a label, just because I feel like whenever I try to pick something within 2 months, I'm maybe I'm not that.
Queerness to me is bravery, and also a sense of exploration. It takes bravery to explore who you are, and the community that comes with queerness is also a good one, but it's also full of a lot of brave pioneers. And so to me, queerness itself is just being brave and becoming an eyeball, but in a good way. It's knowing who you are and not being scared to hide that, and that's what queerness means to me.
To me, it's just love and just feeling loved and being loved and just giving out love to everyone, regardless of whatever background or whatever you come from. When I found out I was queer and I started telling other people, I feel I felt more love than what I had before, especially coming to this school. It's very fun here.
If I was just a cis girl or a cis guy, I wouldn't be the same person that I am. I don't think I would have the same friends. I'm very grateful for it. and the places where it's helped me end up, like here.
I really like the city, especially like at CAPA. I really just like love it here. I identify as a trans woman. I've never felt better about my personal being than joining like the girls volleyball team and just being accepted by everyone, like the coaches, the teammates, girls on the other team, like sticking up for me. It's never been better. So I really love just like being a part of the Philadelphia school district. Even though we have our issues, there's some bright moments.
So we are like a performing and visual arts school, basically, and a lot of creative people are really, really gay.
It's just a very special place. It's so woke.
I mean, we have our problems with discrimination, but like, I feel like in terms of queerness, it's not really there. Well, it is, but it's not as much of an issue as it is in other Philadelphia public schools.
Like, I step out of this and I have to go home, and it's immediately like such a huge tonal shift. But it's like, it's really nice to be here, where it's just like, wow, these people are kind of a lot like me.
Generally, if there's a problem, there's a student at CAPA who's angry about it. Not necessarily angry, but definitely informed. The Philly School District actively lets students partake in protests, and a lot of those protests are started at or carried out in majority by students at CAPA.
The thing about that I personally love about CAPA is just like the warmth I feel every time I like walk into these walls. It makes my day. I love just being here and feeling like I'm not the odd one out, you know, because I feel like I usually stick out like a sore thumb, but here I feel like I'm a part of the whole hand.
I would say just having this place in such a queer-friendly city makes it easier for people to explore their identities. I think Philly is a really great place to be, not just a queer person, but a person. There's definitely exceptions. There's areas that are exceptions. While Philly is very blue and very accepting, you just need to drive like 10 minutes outside of the city to get away from that safety, like Quakertown or Bucks County, which isn't ideal.
I mean, me personally, like, I'm very lucky to have like accepting parents, and like, I never was really bullied, but I never really got along with other kids either, because I think they knew I was kind of different from them. And that's also not just being queer, it's just kind of like growing up neurodivergent and everybody else knowing except for you. I go to middle school, and it's like majority white, like Italian, in like one of the most racist neighborhoods in the city. And it's like, I don't know, I'm glad I made the friends I did there. But also I feel like a lot of the friends I did make there were because like we were like the 5 gay people in the whole school, and we were just kind of surviving together. And like even in Philly, like there's still moments where like could be in a completely like safe neighborhood and just like the wrong person walks by. So I'm very grateful for where I live, but it doesn't come without like the struggle I see here every day too. And I'm not even like seeing the worst of it either, because I'm white.
You kind of like have to fill out the vibes. Like, yes, this is like an openly like, you know, like gay city here, and we have a Gayborhood and stuff, but you kind of have to fill out the vibes. And like, because if you know, all right, I'm going this way, let me a little straighten up a little bit or something like that. I was like, when we did our whiz here, full drag heading home, I'm like, had my hoodie on, I'm like, ooh, because in certain neighborhoods, I'm like, okay, now somebody get on the bus, I'm doomed, I'm cooked. And already, like, some people are already looking at me like, what is that on his face? And I'm just like, minding my little business, like, can a little witch be left alone? We're like every city, like, we're not perfect, but we try. And I think having little things like a Gayborhood and like a whole avenue of the arts, like, I feel like all that kind of like ties into it.
It's pretty awesome here. I mean, we have a Gayborhood for a reason, you guys. What I have here, I don't know. I wouldn't trade it for any other place, because I know that here I'll always have people, even if I don't have like people that I know, even if I don't have you guys, even if I didn't have this school, I would still have a place where I know I could go. And even if I don't know them, I have a community here, you know?
Yeah, you're right. It's also pretty awesome because like I can just kind of walk around here and nobody's like looking at me funny, basically, which is great. Almost every day I see somebody who is like me outside of school, which is also really great. you're right, it is very special here.
I'm a trans woman, and there's times that I haven't felt the safest. But I will say that for the most part, you can kind of do whatever you want. And unless you're being a mess, people won't look at you the wrong way. Everything important to me is on this coast, so I think I'm going to stick around for a little while. New York is a big part of my family history, and a lot of my family lives there. It's just an emotionally significant place for me, but so is Philly. And if I ever have kids, I am moving back to Philly because I cannot afford rent in New York with children.
I've only ever been to like Philly, Jersey, and DC, so haven't traveled much, but felt the most brave here. Like, not only because I was born here, but like going to those other places, there's definitely like a mood shift, and it's like a huge one.
I don't know if I can imagine myself anywhere else. I don't go to other places that often, but whenever I do, I'm like, hey, you know what place is really cool that I should go next? Philly. I miss her so much, my beautiful city. I can't imagine living a life where I don't walk down the streets that I've always walked down, and I haven't taken the same public transportation that I've always walked down. I have one final note. Go Birds.
Go Birds! For the second time, the Vince Lombardi Trophy is headed to Philadelphia. Eagles fly in Super Bowl 59.
My name is Lonnie. I'm 16 years old, and my pronouns are he, him. I'm reading Happily Never After, a poem that I wrote myself. I look at you with so much hope, hoping that you will see me, wishing that you would like me, praying that you would love me. I must remember that one thing. But who am I to stop this feeling, our attention, our glances, our moments? Why can't I move on? I see the best and worst in you. I see you for you. Can you see me, or am I see-through? I would like to hold hands, take pictures, maybe even dance. Give me a chance. I must remember that one thing. I might be crazy or even delusional. Our connection is a barrier. I can't get through to you. I don't want to lose you. I must remember that one thing. You will never feel the same about me as I do you. The clock strikes 12. My happy ending never came true. I started writing freshman year, like my freshman year in high school. I started writing poems. And then this year, it kind of was like my only outlet in a way of like, how can I share my, like, what I'm trying to say properly and like really express that. It's really a sense of just, I use how I feel and just wrote it down because maybe someone needed to hear that. Like, I use poetry and I hope that my poetry makes people feel seen. And so poetry for queer artists is like, if you feel like you can't say nothing, like, write it down. Like, at least someone out there will feel seen through your words that like you have been hiding.
I'm Lance Lichtenstein. I'm 15 years old, and I use he, him pronouns.
My name is Trudy Pooks. I am 20 years old, and I use they, them pronouns.
Would you mind telling anyone a little bit about where we're recording right now? I realize we have a... Yes. So, our theater department at CAPA, which is my school, is really amazing because it's for theater majors. We have this big costume room that is insanely like eclectic and full. And sometimes during classes, our teachers will be like, hold on a second, I'll be right back. And they'll come in here and come out with like a box of random stuff.
That's fantastic. It's kind of makeshift soundproofing because there's so much clothing.
There's so much clothing in here. Doing theater is a big part of who I am. I go to a school for theater. I do a lot of theater outside of school. I've done theater since I was around like 7, which was before I had, come out as anything related to being queer. It was just about having fun and like doing things. And I think that I don't know how happy I would be behind like a computer writing scripts or directing people, but the act of like moving my body and using it to like do something is like a really big enjoyment factor for me. It gives me sort of like a sense of self. Like that's just like something that I feel all the time. I'm a freshman. All of the people who are freshmen in theater, we will be in the same theater classes all 4 years. And I think that as you get older and you like spend more time, because you're all taking the same lessons and you're all doing the same activities, eventually you can sort of reach a point of like melding your experiences and skills together. But when you're a freshman, everybody has different experience levels and skill levels, and nobody is quite like knows how to work together yet. Everything is so new. Like it's all learning new things and having to know your place, because one may think of themselves as the best dancer or whatever in the world, but then they realize everybody else is better than them. Or maybe they think I'm not that good, but then they realize they take direction really well. It's finding the balance between wanting to impress and find validation from others, so like directors and family and people viewing, and then also wanting to like be creative in yourself.
That's really insightful, and if I may say, it feels like a very relevant comparison or model of viewing identity as well, of like how you express it for yourself versus other people.
I think not everyone who isn't you has to know everything. A lot of emphasis on struggling to figure out identity, I feel like, is put on you don't have to know everything about yourself, which is completely true. But that goes in turn with not everybody else has to know everything about you. It is a lot of responsibility to put on yourself and a lot of weight just to determine I'm feeling A, B, and C, but only C is relevant to my family, so I'll tell my family C. Not everybody, when they're young, is gonna be making those decisions, and I feel like being like queer or just struggling with identity in general puts a lot more work on the shoulders of a young person. Being at a performing arts school, there's a lot of queer people here, like that's just kind of the natural way that it is, and it's such an odd experience for me to be someone who, I'm 15 years old. I came out when I was around 9 as some version of queer and gender. I think it was during elementary school that I talked about being queer in other ways, but like when it came to my gender, that was around the time. And I don't think that's the case for that many people. And it blows my mind because I be like, you're reaching that milestone right now. I remember that milestone years ago. Or you're having this complicated decision about yourself right now about what you're going to tell somebody or what phrase you're going to use to identify yourself. I remember when I felt like that, and that felt like forever ago. I think me having experienced all of that so young in comparison to my peers who were only like 2-3 years later on than I was, when it comes to that, it's just so funny seeing how almost identical the experience can be, but I'm the one watching it now. I think it's hard not to want to be like, oh, I just want to tell you everything and tell you what to do because I know I've been there. But you kind of can't do that. Like, you kind of have to let people experience it for themselves. If somebody is deciding these incredibly niche micro labels that nobody's ever heard of are accurate to them and they're going to drop them in 6 months because they realize that nobody else is going to listen to it, you can't tell someone to stop it. You have to let them, that's just one example, but you have to let them like figure that out for themselves.
I think there's a tendency to try and find another box to fit into because we're told we have to fit into this gender binary. So we're like, okay, what's another very strict label that I can adhere to before maybe we get to the point of being like, oh, let me break down actually the system a little bit and see that maybe I don't fit there. So I think that's very wise.
You are not the only queer person to exist in your position. And I mean that both in, hey, I really hope that you know that you're not alone and I hope that you feel that support, but also like any idea that comes into your head about a change you could make with yourself or a way that you can express your identity more uniquely, other people have done that before. It's not a revolutionary idea. And I think that it is so helpful to study like queer elders and revolutionary like things that have happened in queer history in order to sort of frame your mindset around yourself and your relationship with queerness, because you're not the only person. And queerness isn't just I feel X. You live in a society where you have so many forces at play, and knowing what those forces are and knowing the way that they've changed throughout history is like so important to sort of framing your mind. And then the other thing is rules are made up. Rules are made up. If you're saying, I feel XYZ, which is the definition of this label, but I don't want to use that label, then don't use that label. Prioritize thinking about how you feel as opposed to how you want to advertise yourself to other people.
My name is Kodi. I use he, she pronouns, and this is my piece. It's called She Put the Earrings Down. She picked the earrings up. It is a formal occasion, and of course I was required to wear something nice. She picked them up and I saw them shine. In the shine, I saw myself. I saw my dress, my shoes, my newly flat ironed hair, myself. I noticed that I hated that. I realized I wasn't Kodi C.J. Henson to anyone. I realized that I was a girl. When someone bought clothes for me, they did not think about what Kodi C.J. Henson would want. They thought about what a girl would want. When it's time for Christmas, no one thinks about what Kodi C.J. Henson would like to play with. They think about what a girl would like and leave it at that. I noticed I was being watered down to one singular plot point. I noticed I hated that. I told her I hated wearing dresses and earrings and ironing my hair. I told her I couldn't stand being a girl anymore. I told her I prayed every night for God to kill me so I could be reborn as someone that could be more than just a girl. I told her when I thought about the feeling of the piercing gun's iron on my ear before I was old enough to realize I was alive, I felt sick. And she noticed I hated that. I noticed she hurt for me. She put the earrings down.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Eden Kim.
And I'm Josephine Lemec. And you've been listening to
I'm Feeling Queer Today. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating. And share the show with your friends, family, or even your mama. A 5-star rating goes a long way to support us in making more episodes of the podcast.
If you're new here, welcome to the party. Make sure you go back and check out seasons 1 and 2. We think you'll like them a lot.
We want to hear from you. That's why we set up our own voicemail box for you, our listeners, to leave us a message. Go to speakpipe.com/IFQT and drop us a line.
For more information and resources about this episode, check out the show notes in the description or check out the episode page at thefutureperfectproject.org/podcast.
If you are a young person you know is currently in a crisis, visit thetrevorproject.org for LGBTQIA special support through text and chat, or call 1-866-488-7386. These resources will also be in the notes too.
To learn more about the Future Perfect Project, head to our website, thefutureperfectproject.org, and find us on social media at The Future Perfect Project.
Thank you to our wonderful contributors for this episode: Sam, Lonnie, Brooklyn, Midge, Ren, Lance, and Kodi. And especially thank you to our amazing theater teacher and faculty member for CAPA's GSA, Jen Cranny, aka Jenny Marie from the block.
This episode was recorded in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and produced by Trudy Pooks, Miles Tripp, Emma Jane Seslowski, and Celeste Lacine.
IFQT is produced by the Future Perfect Project with support of Radio Kingston, WKNY, Kingston, New York, and our podcast cohort: Alex Massey, Parker McKenzie, Samuel Smalls, Lily Moeller, Eric Eubank, and Zorian Edwards.
Our theme song is performed and composed by Alex Massey and produced by Emma Jane Seslowski. Additional music from Epidemic Sound. Episode editing, mixing, and mastering by Emma Jane Seslowski. This episode was hosted by me, Josephine Levesque.
And me, Eden Kim. Special thanks to our executive producer and mentor, Celeste Lacine, as well as Future Perfect Project team members, Ryan Amador, Kiko Wan, and Aaliyah Jamil.